So I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, sitting on a phone, drinking a drink with nobody around me, and 2 other staff walked past and were like, what is going on? Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about our shopping experience in Paris. Thank you all so much for watching the Paris shopping vlog and the Paris double part 1 and part 2 haul unboxings. I know that was a lot, but you guys were so great, so supportive. The comments were fabulous. Thank you so much for all the love that I got on those videos and for watching them with me and for leaving me comments. I did say, and I apologise before we get started, if you've been watching my videos recently, I can't shake this cold, this rundownness. I've had plenty of tests. It's not anything more serious than that. It just seems to be not shifting, and I'm trying my best to get some rest and try and get rid of it over the holiday period, but you will hear it and I apologise for that. So in the unboxing videos, and I know that you guys have asked me for some mod shot styling type videos, and I will do those. I plan to do them, but the length of the unboxing videos, whenever Bestie donated his items, that obviously was before Horsey took a tumble on the floor, but thankfully no horses were harmed in the making of that video. Had he seen that first, I don't know if we would have got given all those items, but he did donate them for the purposes of the unboxings. Thank you so much, Bestie, they were fab. But it did make the videos very long, so I didn't want to go into too much mod shots because it would have been very, very long, or to talk about the shopping experience, and I know you guys had a lot of questions about that, so I thought I would sit down, do a chit-chat video with you, and we would chat a little bit about what we found it like to shop and be in Paris. So starting off, we went to Paris at the start of December. It was very, very busy. It was obviously Christmas shopping time. The weather wasn't great, which made I assume a lot of people be indoors. So the queues were quite lengthy. The stores were quite full. It could get a little bit uncomfortable and warm whenever you were shopping. I think if you were shopping at that time, you need to be a shopping addict like ourselves, myself and Bessie. Had my husband been with me at that time of the year, I think he would have struggled a bit, and I think he would have got frustrated with the length of the queues and the amount of people about. But if you're there for shopping, that was fine, but just be aware if you're going at that time of the year. It was so busy. We started off in Louis Vuitton, one of my favourite places of all time, and we had been speaking to my CA and SA and the people I shop with in Dublin before we went, and they had given us some advice, and they had contacted Louis Vuitton in Paris for an appointment to make sure that we didn't have to wait too long and to tell us where they recommended that we went. Now, the appointment was for the Saturday, and we ended up going on the Friday. So the treatment that we got was not because it had been a pre-arranged appointment. We did let obviously Dublin know, who let them know we'd already been on the Friday and we didn't need the appointment on the Saturday. But the feedback I can give you then is not somebody having gone over with an appointment arranged and probably the sales assistant already being aware of your purchase history or anything. So we went in on the Friday to the store, which is the flagship store on the Rue de Honore, which is near the Vendôme Square, and is absolutely stunning. It was beautiful. The whole store was beautiful. The experience in there, I have to tell you, was fabulous. We went in, there was a very, very short queue. We went early on the Friday morning. They advised us you can walk about, have a bit of a browse, and then somebody will be ready and will be coming with you. And that was surprisingly an exception in Paris. One of the things I wasn't expecting was that with the queuing system, you would be allocated to an SA and they would ask you, and this was in many of the stores, what you wanted to see, and they would basically take you to what you were looking for. Now, if you weren't 110% sure what you wanted to see and you wanted to have a look around, and like I like to do and see if anything caught your eye, that made it a little bit difficult in some of the stores. But Louis Vuitton was fabulous. We walked around, we had as much time as we wanted. We were greeted by an SA called Calvin, who was absolutely fabulous. He literally just said, go where you want, do what you want, I will bring you things if you want, I will tell you what you want, you have me, just shop. Whenever we were asking for certain things, he would bring what we were looking for. He would also bring alternatives, but in bringing alternatives, I didn't feel like he was trying to put pressure on us or force us to buy certain things. I felt like he was genuinely just trying to help and trying to show things in that area or that type of product and give you a bit of a choice. We were in Louis Vuitton probably for between 3.5 to 4 hours. I know, mental. When we come out, we were actually saying to each other, I can't believe how long we were in there. It didn't feel like that. The time flew. It didn't feel like there was any pressure at all in that time. We were given as many drinks as we wanted. We were asked if we wanted anything else. it was lovely. It was actually a very, very nice shopping experience. I would say to try that store and maybe to avoid the Saturday. When we walked past it on Saturday, there was a very, very long line. But they also, Louis Vuitton is one of the stores that deliver your bags back to your hotel, which is fabulous when you're walking about in Paris. I didn't realise how fabulous it would be. We obviously did buy quite a lot. They also sent us a bottle of champagne delivered back to our hotel, which was a lovely, lovely thought. And I thought was just a little bit of class and made it that bit more lovely. But the service in Louis Vuitton, absolutely fabulous. They did not have a lot of stock though. They were low on capucines. Now lucky I wasn't looking for any more capucines, as we all know, I've bought a few of them. But they were quite low on capucines. They had the little metallic one that I showed in the video, but they had very little else. And if that's what you were looking for, it would have probably been a bit disappointing. The bag I showed at the start of the vlog that I had been looking at, which a lot of you have nicknamed the Lego bag or the Tetris bag, sorry, which had all the colour blocks. We saw that on the mannequin when we first went in, and I did take a quick look at it, but I was conscious of what you guys had warned me, and I was a bit interested, but let's not say I was not certain I was going to buy it. We then went upstairs and were shopping about, and by the time we came back down it was gone and they didn't have any more. I was also looking for the grey and pink Petite Malle, which was on my mind as a alternative to the classic. I still wasn't sure what I was going to go for. I did know that I wanted to buy the Petite Malle in Paris for my 40th. I'd said this in the I'd said this in the unboxing. I bought the Never Full in Rome for my 30th. I wanted to get the Petite Malle in Paris for my 40th. I thought that was just something more special about it and made it a bit more iconic. I am glad I came down on the classic, but I was very tied between it and the grey and the pink. They didn't have it. They said they'd had it about a week before and it was sold out in all of Paris. So that wouldn't have been there had we been looking for that. There were a number of other things that Bestie was looking for. He was looking for a specific backpack. They did have it in the black piping, but he wanted it in the blue piping and they didn't have that. There was other clothing pieces he wanted to look at that they didn't have. He wanted a specific pair of blue light glasses they didn't have. He wanted some specific, there were scarves, hats, different pieces he was looking for, and they didn't have any of those either. So the stock wasn't great, and I have to say that was across everywhere in all of Paris. Stock wasn't great. And we did have a conversation with a few of the SAs in the different stores. Oh, here comes Louis to join us. Hello. We did have a conversation and they were saying to us that it wasn't just Christmas. That yes, it was Christmas time and there was the Christmas rush, but they were saying that in their opinion, it was definitely related to the pandemic. They were telling us that normally whenever it comes to Christmas, they will get an influx of stock before Christmas to deal with the Christmas rush, but that didn't happen this year and they were low on a lot of things. And that kind of was the experience across a lot of the boutiques. I think if you'd been going to Paris to try and specifically get a specific Chanel bag or a specific Hermes bag or even some of the Louis Vuitton bags, I think you could have been disappointed. Now, this experience in Louis Vuitton, fabulous. Really, really cannot recommend it enough. Cannot recommend Calvin enough if you are going there. But it was the first store. We knew we would do quite a lot of damage in that store. I knew I wanted the Petite Malle. Bestie knew he wanted certain things. So we went there first and they very, very helpfully delivered all of that stuff back to the hotel for us. We went to Cartier. I had been interested in the Love bracelet. I know a lot of people have it. I love the look of a bangle. I love the look of a plain gold. I wanted it in the yellow gold. I felt a little bit in Cartier like, I really don't know how to explain it. I felt as if I was being told what I should buy, and I felt as if the person dealing with me wasn't really listening to what I was saying. So I love the Love bracelet. I tried it in one size that was like a grip. It was like a handcuff. It was so tight around the bottom of my arm. The next size that they had, and I don't even know what they were. This is the way it was going. I don't even know if it was a 17 and an 18 or a 16 and a 17. I don't know. The first one was so tight. The second one was so big. It literally would have come up to about here on my arm. And I wanted it to sit pretty much the way my H click clack bracelet sits. So one was too big, I felt. One was too small. The sales assistant though was intent in telling me that they were perfect. Which one? The first one was the small one. No, that's fine because, that's fine. The second one, no, 200%, that's the correct one. I didn't feel like either was correct. I felt like one was too small and one was too big. And I didn't feel hugely comfortable in the store to be saying, no, I'm not sure about this, can I try this, can I try that? So we left there. I would like to try that again in a Cartier where I feel the SA is working with me a little bit more and not just trying to sell something to me and not just wanting these tourists out of the store. I would like to have a bit more of a discussion about the sizes and see if one can work for me. If not, I would go to a local jeweler and see if a gold bangle that's quite thick can be made. It wouldn't bother me at all that it doesn't have the Cartier name. This ring that, for example, I got for my 40th doesn't have a luxury brand name. That doesn't bother me at all. If it's to get the right size and what I want, I would maybe try a jeweler to see if it can be made something similar to the design, not with the screws or anything, but just a thick bangle. Moving on, we then went to Dior. We went to Dior. We went to 3 Dior. We went to the Dior on Rue Cambon, and if I'm butchering the French, sorry. They didn't have the saddlebag in the red that I was looking for. They tried to tell me that it was lamb skin and it was a softer leather, and that's why they had the other bags that was in the grained leather. I'd said to them, no, I'm looking for this particular red. This is the one I want to try. I appreciate the different leathers, but this is the one I'm looking for. They didn't have it. They did show me some other bag. They weren't overly interested, I don't think, but they did show me some other bags and they were quite pleasant. They weren't rude or anything, but just weren't really getting that was a particular bag that I wanted. I think we're trying to take me to other bags because they didn't have it, is the impression that I got. By the way, if you're hearing noise in the background, one of my children has just went into their bedroom and I can hear them through the monitor, so you're probably hearing that on the camera. I also felt that the Dior, the first one we went into, we looked at some of the clothing and it just wasn't a great atmosphere. It felt a little bit uncomfortable. It felt quite like we were being monitored maybe, and I know they have to, but it just didn't feel great. So we left there, we went to Vuitton on the first day and had fabulous service in there. It was literally, what would you like? Would you like to try things? Let's have some fun. That was fabulous. We went to Fendi there. They didn't have the multicolored baguette that I was looking for. I had really in my mind I wanted to see, but the lady in Fendi was fabulous. She had said, let's try other sizes. Let's try what you would, to see the equivalent of it, try the size, hold the Montrezure in it, see what you think about the fabric. Do you want to try anything else? Great service in Fendi, but again, the stock, they didn't have a huge amount. The first store that we went into in the same area did have some of the Skims collection. I didn't try the clothes because I'm not made for those clothes. They did have some of the bags though. They didn't have the pinky purpley one. I'm just actually going to turn the monitor off. That's better. They didn't have the pinky purple, but the staff were fabulous. The store was fabulous. Really, really nice experience. And they did have some lovely things that they let us see and try on. Now to Hermes. I have had a lot of questions about whether or not we tried to get an appointment for Hermes for the Birkin or the Kelly, and we did, yes. We were there for 2 full days that you can get an appointment for. They traditionally don't do appointments on the Sunday, so we were there on the Friday and the Saturday, and we both tried on both days, and neither of us got an appointment on either day. We did, however, go to the flagship store, and we also went to the George V store. The flagship store was absolutely packed. There was a lot of disappointed people walking about. We were looking for different bracelets. They didn't have any of the blankets that Bestie was looking for. They didn't have any of the ties that he was looking for. There was a number of things he was looking for they didn't have. They didn't have shoes that I was looking for. They didn't have trainers I was looking for. They didn't have the gold ring that I've been looking for this finger. They didn't have the bracelet version. They did not have very much. We were speaking to an SA who was very nice and said, we're having real stock problems. We have so little of everything. She said to us, again, I don't think this is because of Christmas. We normally get stock. I think it's because of the pandemic and we're low on everything. I had said to her that we had tried to get an appointment for the leather goods, but we weren't lucky enough to get an appointment, and she had indicated that it may not have been the most successful appointment anyway. Now, she obviously didn't tell us exactly what was in the stock list, but she did say they were very, very low. And she did say that some people had been to their appointments and were leaving disappointed. You could see people disappointed in the store. You could see people trying on in their appointments maybe the larger Evelyn bag and some bags I didn't even know the name of. I'm sure there are probably rooms that you can go to maybe for people who were being offered a Birkin or a Kelly, but there didn't seem to be a lot about, and there did seem to be quite a bit of discontent within the store, and the staff were continually saying, we're sorry, there's no stock. We're sorry, there's no stock. And there was a lot of things that fell into. Now, we also went to the Hermes store off Champs-Elysees, the George V store. And that is where Bestie got the horse's head that took the tumble on the floor. Now, he saw it the first day. Both myself and his partner were saying to him, get it, it's fabulous, it's lovely, it'll be perfect what you're looking for. He decided not to. We left, and then of course when he got back to the hotel, tried to find it online, hit him what the stock was like, and we raced back the next day to get it, and it was the last one. When we went back the next day, it was the Sunday, and they aren't traditionally open. It was very quiet, and it was lovely. So we got to talk to an SA who was telling us again about the stock and the stock problems, and we'd said we'd tried to get an appointment, and he had said, well, it's appointment only, but what were you looking for? You know, we have some space, we're not too busy, I can talk to you now. No Hermes, Kelly or Birkin. He said, just no, none of the famous bags to even show you. We don't have any. He might have been telling me that, I don't know, because I didn't have an actual appointment, but there certainly didn't seem to be a lot about. Again, he took me to where the appointments were, and there was people trying on bags that were certainly not the Kellys and the Birkins, and there again seemed to be people not very happy. So I do think that there were real stock problems in Hermes, and I don't think that it was all of him just saying that. I think that was genuine. If I had been dead set, and I'd said this all along, I was not, getting an Hermes, Kelly or a Birkin would have been cherry on the cake, but it certainly wasn't going to make or break my trip to Paris. Wasn't even going to touch the sides of it. We had a ball and we shopped till we dropped. If you had went, however, being intent and going to get one of those bags, I think there is a good chance you would have been disappointed. Now, Chanel, also, stock was terrible. It was terrible. We went to a number of Chanel stores. We went to the main store on the Honoré, where it's round the corner from Rue Cambon. Huge line, very, very busy. Staff clearly dealing with lots of tourists, clearly not having what everybody wanted. Not the lady that we had, certainly not in the best of form to be dealing with lots of tourists. Did show us it was, what do you want to see? And took us to the bags. There were a couple of the Emily in Paris bags in bright colours. I asked about classic flaps. She told me there was one left in caviar leather in silver, and that was it. No other classic flaps. There were no minis, apart from a couple in the Rue Cambon that I showed in the vlog that were very embellished and very expensive, but no leather minis. Very, very little stock. I looked also for trainers and boots. The other ones that I looked at, I did get one pair of trainers, but the other ones, no, couldn't get them in the size. Very, very little stock. The first store, to be honest, we queued quite a long time for. It was not a very nice experience. And if it had been the only Chanel store we were in, I think it would have left a bit of a nasty taste in your mouth. Not even about the stock, because you have to understand when they don't have the stock, but the staff were clearly just fed up. And I think, again, if you went to Paris trying to get your dream Chanel bag, you could have been disappointed, because in all the stores we were in, there was definitely there was definitely a stock shortage. We did go to Rue Cambon. We queued to get in, and we met the most lovely, lovely SA. Funny enough, my good friend from Instagram, Laura at the CC Spy, had sent me her SA details for Rue de Cambon. I didn't want to impose, though. I felt, I'm only going over here. It is the Rue de Cambon store. Everybody wants to go. That might be a bit much for me to ask to be seen. But coincidentally, we were paired with the same SA. And she said something. I showed her one of Laura's bags. She said, oh, I deal with Laura. I showed her the message Laura had sent me with her details. And it was a fabulous experience from then. She was lovely before that. I'm not saying it was only because of that, but it was really, really fabulous. She was going out of her way to try and give us whatever that there was that we would want that she could get. The trainers that I ended up buying, she didn't have. She tried to phone other stores a number of times. They weren't answering. So she said in the end, would you mind giving me 5 minutes and I'll go and get them? So whatever store they were in was in walking distance, and she left the store and went and got them for us, which I just think is absolutely fabulous. She let me play with the bags. You'll have seen in the vlog, I was trying on lots of bags. It was so much fun. I really loved the small mini that was the red and black with the beading around the side, but it was €9,500 for the small fabric mini. Now I know there's the beading around the side of it, but I was tempted, but I then got some sense. Now I don't often, but some sense came in here, and that's just too much for the mini, the fabric mini. And I really, really loved the black larger bag that was also a fabric bag with the numbers sewn all over it. And I thought it was so cool. I could imagine wearing it. I could see it with a number of outfits. It was a good size. It was a bigger bag. It would have been something different in my collection, bigger, could still wear it crossbody. It was fabric and you could already see it picking up fluff. I don't think it was a bag you could wear all the time, but it was €12,500. €12,500 for a fabric bag that was picking a lot of fluff. And I did love it, but I went back and forward on it. But €12,500 for a fabric bag, I just couldn't do it. I just thought it was too much money for. I already have a huge bag collection. I have a Chanel black medium that now fits crossbody. And I know this was fab with the letters and the numbers and everything on it. But in the end, I just couldn't justify that price for that bag, and that's why that didn't come home. I also loved the black and gold bag that you saw in the vlog. I really loved it, and I was going to buy it. But I think when I sat down and had a word with myself, I was buying it to buy a bag in Chanel. I don't think I loved it enough to spend Chanel money to buy on it. It didn't give me those feels, and I'm glad to say for once I was sensible and put it back. So they didn't, the Chanel store where we bought the shoes did not deliver them back to the hotel. And I have to say, when you're going traipsing around Paris for the full day, you actually do notice that. And it was heavy, and it was a bit of a, it would be nice if they did. When we purchased in Louis Vuitton, they did. When we purchased in Gucci, they did. They delivered back to the hotel as well. We bought quite a bit in Gucci. Bestie loves Gucci. We didn't buy enough really in Hermes. Hermes didn't. I don't know if you bought a Kelly or Birkin if they do it, but for what we bought, they didn't deliver back to the hotel. So we ended up carrying quite a bit about that. So that is a run through of our shopping experience in Paris. I'm missing out Dior. Dior, we went to 3 stores. We went to the Champs-Elysees where Bestie got the hat, which was packed, very, very busy, but they had fabulous eye candy. They had a lot of the art Dior, which are painted and hand-painted and handmade. Fabulous. They did have the red saddle that I was looking for, but they didn't have the strap I was looking for. They had a strap which had the metalwork detail on it, which I actually liked but didn't love enough to buy. So they also told me that the strap that I wanted was sold out in all of Paris. They went onto their little computer thing and checked everywhere and said it was gone. So I didn't think I was actually going to get that, and I had settled myself for that. I was going to try and get it in Dublin, but when we went to the Gallerie Lafayette, funny, they had the bag and they had 2 straps, and I know they had 2 because the first one they showed me had a pluck and then they got me another one. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know if the stock wasn't showing right on the tablet or if it was trying to keep people in their store, but it was there. It was in the Gallerie Lafayette. But the lady was lovely, as many drinks as we wanted, and the staff in the Gallerie Lafayette also were lovely. I laugh because we were there by the end of the day and we were just done. At one point, whenever the lady was wrapping my bags, I sat down on the floor drinking the drink they'd given me. She had given me the phone. I was putting my details on, but I probably looked like I was on my own phone. By this point, the blister had kicked in. I changed out of the Louis Vuitton boots and put my trainers on that I'd bought in Foot Locker. So I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, sitting on a phone, drinking a drink with nobody around me, and 2 other staff walked past and were like, what is going on? And I think it probably looked a little bit suspicious and strange, but they were very lovely and it was not a problem. And I have to say, the experience in the Dior and Gallerie Lafayette, really, really lovely. And the packaging, they gave us spare bags because they only had a huge bag. They gave us some spare Christmas packaging to be able to take home in our suitcase, one for each of us, because Bestie bought in the Champs-Elysees, it wasn't the Christmas packaging, so they gave one for each of us that was small enough to take home, and that was just lovely. I thought, nice touch. So really good experience in Dior. That is a run through, haven't forgot Dior now, that is a run through of our shopping experience in Paris. If anybody has any specific questions, please feel free to put them in the comment box and I will have no difficulty answering those for you. I would say stock was a problem, but let's hope the next time it's a little bit better. Didn't put us off, didn't ruin it at all. We had an absolutely fabulous time and I love Paris. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for being here. Please take care and I will see you again in the next one.